Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, what happens when local news isn't local anymore? It's becoming a growing trend. We're going to break down what's happening there for local ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC stations. Also, Americans are watching less traditional cable television, not a surprise, but even less streaming in February as YouTube viewership grows. We'll tell you what's happening there as YouTube reaches a new high in viewership across the country. Also, Peacock is adding some regional sports networks. If you live in some markets, you can watch it, but there's a big catch with that. We're going to break this down just in time for the start of Major League Baseball season. These stories and a whole lot more can be found in the first pinned comment in the show notes. I'll put a link to each story there. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow, hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. So we've been talking a lot about the death of local news on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. And there's a couple big trends here. Number one is staff cuts. And we got some more. Scripps has laid off a bunch of staff. One station lost in total like 20 staff members here. Yeah. From KGTV 10 in San Diego lost 20 staff members at that one TV station owned by Scripps alone. But we're also seeing a growing trend recently of local news produced somewhere else. We already talked about like a Greensboro, North Carolina station that sees its newscast studio show actually produced out of Texas. We've seen some stations completely shut down their news or start simulcasting their news from another station. When I lived in Missouri, ABC 33 was one I often watched the news for. They don't even produce news anymore. They just simulcast the KY3 feed now. That's a growing trend around the country. Even here in the Grand Rapids, Michigan market, one of the ABC affiliates shut down their feed and actually carries the NBC news feed because they're both owned by the same station or same company there with that. But now, Gray Television is launching a new 2 p.m. local news. Great, right? Local news happening. Well, it's actually going to come out for all their TV stations with the same host out of a single studio. This allows these TV stations to have cheap content. These news programs are relatively inexpensive compared to syndicated content and other content, especially if you look at producing this in each individual city. But it marks a growing trend of local TV stations having less local news. So, you know, I've been a big advocate that I think this is dangerous. We already see local newspapers at best a shell what they used to be. Local radio stations have, for the most part, moved away from news. And very rarely outside of some mid-sized and large towns do you have local radio stations with their own news crews that actually produce their own news. And now local television stations is increasingly reducing its news coverage. I think creating a real vacuum for local news in many areas. And I hear you. A lot of people say, well, local news isn't local anymore, it's national. I agree with you. A lot of these news programs are using pre-made national news stories to fill their show with nationally produced news, maybe introduced by a local host from different markets. We'll keep a close eye on this, but Gray Media is launching a 2 p.m. national news program. Look for this to become more and more common. I've said it many times. Syndicated TV shows during the day are, well, not the most expensive television, a lot more expensive than local news. We've seen a growth of actual news programs, but increasingly they're being filled by national content, not local. Leave me a comment, let me know. Have you seen that? I'll love to hear from you and what you think of it. Real quick, leave me a comment, let me know. All right, let's keep moving along. Americans, according to a new report from Nielsen, are watching less traditional cable TV and even some less streaming services to watch more YouTube. While traditional broadcast now accounts for 21% of all TV, the ABC, NBC, Fox viewing and change, cable TV now accounts for just 23%. In total, though, YouTube jumped 2.5% from January, now accounts for 11.6%. That's pretty amazing to see that YouTube is doing this and accounting for all that. Now that's TV, viewing on TV and streaming there. Very interesting to see numbers. We've seen a few other streaming services also drop recently. But one thing that was also an interesting trend, free services have seen a continuous climb, like Pluto TV now accounting for 2% of all television viewing, along with Tubi in second place is the second largest streaming service, a little over 2%, and the Roku channel at the largest percentage or largest free ad-supported streaming service. That's not YouTube. I kind of categorize YouTube because it's mostly user-generated in one category. Things like Pluto TV, Tubi, and the like, where you can't upload your own content into another category. With all that, the Roku channel is the most popular in that category. Interesting to see that market continue to grow. I've said this before, a lot of people have been cutting back on paid services, leaning more on these free ad-supported streaming services. And let's be honest, some of the stuff on YouTube is actually, I think, even better, equal quality or better than what you see on a lot of TV networks. Yes, maybe the special effects aren't as great and different stuff, but there's some really good original content being put on YouTube you can watch for free. And if you pay a few dollars, you can get ad-free experience with it. Check it out, link in the show notes. But let me know, have you been watching more YouTube? If so, I have, I'll be honest. You're not alone. All right, let's keep moving along. Peacock is launching in-market streaming of NBC regional sports networks in a handful of markets, but they're going to cost you extra money. When this was reported, a lot of people had hoped that NBC Universal would put their RSNs for free into Peacock's monthly plan. Just not the case. Pricing will vary between $14.95 a month all the way up to $24.95. Philadelphia is the most expensive market. It includes the Phillies, 76ers, and Flyers games, Eagles coverage, and college sports. $24.95 on top of your Peacock subscription. Wait, let me back up here. I'm reading this backwards. We are seeing a bunch of other markets, the cheapest being Connecticut, where the Connecticut Suns and Maine Celtics games for $14.95. That's the cheapest one to add on there. I kind of wish they had done a little better deal. Most of these services out there are about $19 or less for them. $19.99 kind of deal, like we see with FanDuel Sports Networks, formerly Bally Sports. I think that is kind of the max price point you can really hit. The $24.99, I think for a lot of people, is going to be a big no for them. This is on top of the $7.99 with ads or the $13.99 without ads subscription you need for this. So keep an eye out. Do you subscribe? It's just in time for Major League Baseball season. Check it out. All right. The Roku channels added 5 new channels. Some interesting ones here, including a 24/7 Masked Singer channel now streaming on there. The Price is Right with Drew Carey joining the Bob Barker Price is Right on it. Monster Jam, formerly One Channel and One Championship TV, has now launched on the Roku channel for free. Had some people leave me comments, well, why don't they put this stuff available on demand on the Roku channel? A lot of the stuff that appears on their free channels also appears in their on-demand catalog. Not everything, but a lot of it does. You may want to search the Roku channel. It has a pretty massive on-demand catalog also. Next up, Spectrum, as we talked about a month ago, is spending $7 billion to expand its network into rural America, and they've done it again. Spectrum, as they try to offset the recent losses in subscribers to television and movie customers, television customers, has been expanding into new markets to try to expand their footprint to get more customers. With this, they're expanding to Pike County, Ohio, connecting about 260 homes and businesses that previously they said did not have high-speed internet with gig service. Great. I love to see Spectrum expanding their network. For whatever reason they do it, I think it's a great reason. $7 billion, it sounds great. It really is only scratching the surface of what it would take to bring fiber, optic cables, and gig services to all rural America. That'll take probably hundreds of billions, if not trillions, to make happen. But I think this is a great step forward. I'm a big fan of competition. I love satellite internet. I hope Amazon's is successful. I hope more companies launch 5G wireless services. I think they're great. And I think this more fiber options to people is great. I really do hope it. In markets where there's 2 or more internet providers, the more internet providers there are, historically the prices go down and data caps go away. All right, let's keep moving along. We have a new FCC commissioner coming soon. One of the 2 Democratic FCC commissioners, Starks, has announced, surprisingly, that this spring he'll be stepping down. No exact reason was really given, but that later this spring he'll be stepping down. This to give time for a new replacement to be nominated and approved by the Senate. With this, a lot of accolades coming out for him in his time at the FCC. I wish him the best. Keep an eye on who they pick. It will tell us a lot about the plans to fight or work with the FCC, the Republican leadership here from the Democrats with this. And I hate talking about politics, but there's no way to get around the fact that the FCC has a massive impact on television and streaming. And at a time when the FCC is considering several major changes to things like over-the-air broadcast television with the potential end of ATSC 1.0, forcing people to get 3.0. Also with, are we going to reclassify services like YouTube TV, Fubo, and others as cable TV providers? It's a question that some local TV stations want them to do. The FCC is going to have some big things here. I will try to refrain as much as possible from politics, but there's times where this happens. We have to pay attention to it. And only when that happens, I'm going to keep a close eye on this. But I'm very interested to see who's going to be replacing it. This is going to have a big part of what's happening in the future here with television. And lastly, in our story for today, Disney Plus is launching a new 24/7 channel. This is a Simpsons channel. Yes, you can still watch The Simpsons on demand. Just pick whatever season or episode you want. But now if you just want to do some dishes or maybe check your email and stuff and want to turn something on the TV, you can just flip on the Simpsons channel and it'll start just playing Simpsons episodes. It joins a growing number of channels like ABC News streaming live on the 24/7 feed of it on Disney Plus, also a Disney Junior filled channel of Disney Junior content, and now The Simpsons. I think there's about a handful, a little less than 10 last I checked. They may have more now since I saw it. I actually think this is amazing. I'm kind of surprised that Disney doesn't do more of this where, hey, why not have The Simpsons? Why not have a 24/7 network dedicated to all kinds of their popular channels with this? We'll keep a close eye on it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you on this. Well, that's it for today. Really appreciate your support. I apologize about the slight music tone underneath the video yesterday. That was not meant to be there. I apologize. It won't be there in the future. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all real soon.